Hi, this is Zero, and this is What If Naruto was Senju Part 2. We start off well. Naruto wakes up in the morning. Naruto takes a shower, eats his dinner, and then eats his breakfast and then leaves towards the training ground 7. At 8, at 8, he's 1 hour late while Sasuke and Sakura has been waiting there for an hour. Scratch that, he doesn't go right now. Wakes up at 5 like always, trains, then at 8 he stops training. Then he takes an hour of rest and then leaves. When he comes there, before Sakura and Sasuke can say anything to him, Sasuke says, "Oh." Kakashi comes and says, "Oh, I was late for the path of life. A black cat crossed my path, so I had to take a different route." His usual excuses. Then he will say, "So let's start the bell test, shall we?" Sakura and Sasuke doesn't get the chance to say anything to Naruto. Kakashi shows two bells. Sakura says the same thing, like there are two bells and two of them will be passing. And so the bell test begins. When Kakashi said go, both of them run towards the forest to hide. Naruto stays there. Kakashi says, "Are you really that cocky?" Naruto runs toward Kakashi at blinding speeds using body flicker and punches Kakashi. Kakashi instantly uses substitution jutsu because he felt something like that's gonna hurt a lot. Kakashi used substitution to leave. Now there was a wood log. Naruto hits the wooden log, and then he hits the ground. The wooden log gets shattered, and there is a very small but dangerous crater. I mean, a crater on the ground because of the punch. Sasuke and Sakura and Kakashi's jaws are on the jaw drop because the strength that he showed while punching was immense. Then Kakashi comes out of the tree and says, "How did you?" Naruto says, "Chakra." Naruto, no, scratch that. Naruto doesn't say anything. Naruto uses body flicker to run towards Kakashi once again. Then while he's in the middle of the way, Naruto waves hand sign and says, "Shadow Clone Jutsu." Two shadow clones appear beside him, and Naruto says, "Water style, water bullet. Wind style, wind bullet." Both clones says one clone used wind and the other used water. The both of them combine together to create a combination style attack. The wind, the water bullet enhanced with wind goes towards Kakashi at pretty high speeds. Kakashi dodges barely. He gets a little scratch on the cheek. The bullet went straight through the tree behind Kakashi. Kakashi puts his books away, gets ready. Naruto and the clones are still using body flicker to come towards Kakashi, but Kakashi is still faster than Naruto. Naruto kicks Kakashi with insane amount of chakra. Kakashi can sense it or see it because he's not using his Sharingan yet. He can just feel that kick is gonna hurt. So Kakashi tries his best to dodge it without touching it. While kicking, all three clones are kicking him. Kakashi gets back towards the tree. Naruto runs towards Kakashi and uh, put his fist on his put his fist back and punches him. But Kakashi, at the last moment before it can happen, Kakashi unveils his Sharingan and dodges out of the way. As soon as Naruto's fist hits the tree explodes. The tree get destroyed. So much damage. Because Naruto is enhancing his body with chakra, especially his fist whenever he's going to attack someone. And so Sasuke is shocked. Naruto waves some hand sign and says, "Lightning stream," and then a stream of lightning comes and shock Kakashi. So he knows lightning style. Wait a minute, he knows three styles because he just used water and wind and now lightning. As soon as Kakashi gets down, Naruto waves some more hand signs and says, uh, Earth pole. Beneath Kakashi, Kakashi has lifted up in the sky thanks to a pole of Earth that was being built beneath him. Kakashi gets serious. He was taking easy while unveiling his Sharingan because he wanted to take easy, but now Kakashi is serious. As soon as Kakashi is going to attack, Naruto says wood style, uh, wooden vines, and wooden vine comes to grab Kakashi, but Kakashi breaks out. Naruto puts his hand together and says wood clone. Sasuke, Kakashi, and Sakura are shocked. Like how? Then Naruto says wooden dragon jutsu. Wooden dragon comes towards Kakashi. Kakashi dodges barely. Then Naruto tries his best to attack Kakashi by using his wooden dragons to distract him, and then Naruto says, I win. From nowhere, Kakashi says, how? I still have not. Kakashi looks down and sees the bells, they are gone. Naruto has the bell. Sakura and Sasuke comes out. Naruto throws the bell towards them. See, I understand that this is about teamwork, so we passed technically, didn't we? Kakashi just nods, but Kakashi, before Kakashi can ask like how did he have wood star, Naruto is body flicker to leave. Sasuke would think, how did he? Sasuke would think that he thought, but he actually said it outright. How does he have wood style? That should be impossible. Sakura would like, yeah, the first Hokage had wood style. Is he related to him or not? Kakashi says, I have no idea. I'm just gonna go ask the third about this. Kakashi just leaves using body flicker and goes to the Hokage office. Every Jonin was there to tell out how their team did. To their shock and surprise, Kakashi came on time. A little bit late, but on time. Then they all start saying like how their team passed. Then it comes to Kakashi. My team passed. Naruto Uzumaki is highly skilled. He can use chakra enhanced fist that could easily broke my bones if I let him hit me. And he also has wood style. And every single Jonin, every single person in the city is like, what? What do you mean he has wood style? Are you sure, Kakashi? Kakashi said, yeah. I got bit by a wooden dragon. And that wooden dragon took the bells from me. Horizon is shook like, what else is he hiding? Horizon says it a little bit out loud. Kakashi like, what do you mean what else is hiding? Horizon like, nothing, nothing. Just go on. And then everything will go on. The news has spread that Naruto Uzumaki has wood style and he's quite strong. Sasuke thinks he's some kind of a person who inherited wood style is similar to the first Hokage, the Senju. Sasuke doesn't like Senjus. Naruto is an hybrid after all, a Senju and Uzumaki, so he should half like him. Whatever. And so they will do the D-rank missions for an entire month. Naruto has been sending a wood clone to do the D-rank missions while he himself trained physically, pushes his body to at its limit. Naruto has learned more lightning style, earth style, water style, and wind style jutsus, and he has also made his physical body a little more stronger in the month. He has mastered another form of taijutsu style. He knew the strong fist, the gentle fist, something similar to gentle fist, not quite gentle fist, and several interceptor fist, and several other martial arts. Oh, sorry, taijutsus. So Naruto is quite skilled in several forms of taijutsu, and his genjutsu is on the top notch. Now he carries his short sword all everywhere. A short sword on his right side of his back that you can see the hilt from his right side, so he can use his right hand to grab the sword and cut anything. He's also learned how to put chakra into the sword, so he can now put wind chakra around the sword to make it more cuttable, make it more stronger, easy to cut through things. Naruto wears all black Like always, he has storage seals all around his body. He has also learned in the month the Shadow Shuriken Jutsu, and he's been practicing his Flying Thunder God a lot. And he's also working on the lightning armor. He wants to see if he can actually use the lightning armor perfectly. For now, he can only use internal lightning, so he can increase his perception speed through using a lightning chakra inside his body. But he can't use lightning chakra for too long. Lightning chakra outside his body for too long for now, and that kind of progress he has done in a month. And he's also learned Rasengan in the month, mastered it. He can use it with one hand. He can also create a bigger Rasengan. He figures that out that if I put more chakra and increase the outer shell of it, I can make much bigger Rasengan, more destructive power. So there is that. Kakashi has tried asking Naruto about his wood style and what else he knows. Naruto dodges the bullet every time, avoids the question most of the time. And their cat mission go easy because Naruto is a sensory ninja and also pretty good with genjutsu, so he just sees the cat, use body figure to appear behind him, put it under genjutsu, pick it up, go to the client, give it, and complete the missions. He does that only very once in every 2 to 3 days. Otherwise, he lets Sasuke and Sakura try it. And so that happens in the month. Then Sasuke says, Kakashi Sensei, we need higher rank mission. I can't test my skills and all that. Naruto didn't whine because it was a good way of him training a lot. Because I mean, this time Naruto is the biggest one in the group, except for Kakashi, of course. In all three of them, Naruto is the biggest because Minato left quite a lot of cash in the home so Naruto can use. So he eats quite a lot. He uses transformation jutsu to go into the shops to buy good stuff. He knows how to cook. He's pretty good cook. He mostly eats chicken and he eats what do you call it? Ramen every time, every day for dinner. He in breakfast and lunch he takes chicken and all good stuff. At night he takes ramen because ramen is good for carbs for his training. Natha got a lot more faster. His chakra reserves have also increased a little. His chakra control is still perfect because Naruto constantly trains it so it doesn't get bad because Kuruma still tries to still pretty much fucks up his sorry, I was meant to observe. Still messes up with his chakra. And so that happens. And when Tazuna comes, Tazuna doesn't say anything to Naruto or Sasuke. He picks on Sakura because Sakura is the shortest. And Naruto has long blonde hair, similar to Hashirama, but a little bit spikier. And so, and Naruto is quite muscular. You can see the muscles from him if you concentrate enough. And Naruto carries a sword on his right side. You can see the hilt of it. So Tazuna thinks, yeah, this kid is quite strong. He's probably the strongest out of all three of them, and he has no idea how truthful he's talking about. And so then Kakashi said, we will meet at the next day. Naruto would nod and use body flicker to leave. When Naruto goes home, he picks up, he goes directly to the Namikaze compound, goes in, readies his shuriken, and goes for complete battle mode. Getting packing as much shuriken, two extra swords, and a sealing scroll into his seal, stored seal, and several other stuff all around his body, hidden of course, and his sword. And he has two swords actually, the same type, but he only uses one. That if one breaks, he can just uh, take out another, and the storage seal is on the right side of his back, the same place where the actual sword is, so he can take the sword out of there instantaneously. He also put a miniature storage seal on his tongue, where he keeps uh, chakra pills. That if he's fighting someone, he doesn't have time to pick a chakra pill and toss it into his mouth. So he has a storage seal on his tongue. It's quite small one. It can only hold 2 to 3 chakra pills at a time. It's pretty small one, barely noticeable. Naruto has it just in case. And so the next day they are there to be ready. Kakashi asks, okay, everyone got their stuff because Naruto and Kakashi still came late. This time even Sasuke came late, so Sakura came late, an hour late. So that happens. Kakashi would also everyone pack their stuff. Everyone would note Sasuke would be like smoking various stuff. Naruto would say, storage seal. I don't prefer to carry stuff. It slows me down. Sakura, what do you mean not to say? You're wasting time. Let's move on, Kakashi Sensei. Kakashi Sensei would nod and they would leave. Sasuke would curse Naruto's name because he didn't even give him a proper answer. And so the puddle comes. Naruto easily notices it because he's a sensory ninja once again. And his sensory ninjutsu is much greater than Karin, so he can also sense the same uh, length as Karin, how far she can sense, but he can also sense better than Karin. He can sense how many people they are and what kind of position they are in. They are sitting, standing, or trying to hide. And unlike Tobirama, he doesn't have to put his finger on the ground. He can just do it because of his Uzumaki genes and much better sensory capabilities. And so, as soon as Demon Brother comes, they kills Kakashi. Before they can go any further, Naruto runs towards them, punches one in the chest, breaking his ribs and caving his chest in, killing him instantaneously, and grabs one by the face. And the second brother decides to punch Naruto. Naruto grabs his hand and crushes it, breaks it. The demon brother screams in pain and agony. Then Kakashi comes and says, well done, Naruto. Your speed has gotten much faster. Naruto would be like, yes, I've been training. Kakashi would know. And then Naruto would look at the demon brother and cast some hand signs. After letting him go, cast some hand signs. Genjutsu. He will say, level 3. Genjutsu, the hell of the gods. And so the person will be being tortured, and then Naruto would ask, so tell me, why are you? He will tell them the how Gato and all the stuff. Then Naruto and everyone look at the bridge builder. Bridge builder will do the same thing in a sad old story. They will go, and after Naruto will send something, throw the kunai. A rabbit would come out before Sakura can say anything. Naruto will throw another kunai up in the uh, trees, and then Zabuza will jump out. He will be scratched on his cheek. He was about to throw the sword. They were like, well done, kid, you're a sensory ninja, aren't you? Naruto would say something like that. Then Naruto would wave some hands and say, wind vacuum bullet. He will shoot 3 vacuum bullets at Zabuza. Zabuza will dodge all 3 of them, but unknowing to Zabuza, it was a distraction. Then Naruto would clap his hand and say, wood style, wooden veins, and then veins from the ground come out, grab Zabuza's feet, and then Naruto would wave some more hands and says, lightning style, lightning bullet. Naruto will throw a bullet of lightning towards Zabuza. Zabuza will break the vines and dodge. The lightning bullet will go on and disperse after some time. Kakashi would say, leave it to me, Naruto. Naruto would nod. And as soon as Kakashi comes up, Zabuza still does the same thing, sending Overcon between them. As soon as that happens, Naruto says a lightning stream, and then a word of lightning comes around Naruto, shocking the water clone and dispersing it. Naruto says, huh, good, I know how to use that for a single hand sign. And then Kakashi would look there and Naruto would be holding a single tiger hand sign. And no scratch that he wasn't using hand sign, he just used it without hand sign. And that's how good his lightning effect is. And so Kakashi would be fighting. When Kakashi gets caught in the water prison, Naruto waves some hand sign and says, which one should I use? Yeah, water bullet. He will throw water bullet, then he waves some more hand signs and say vacuum bullet. No, scratch it. He will create two shadow clones. One of them will say vacuum bullet, the other one water bullet. They will throw at it. They will combine to create a water vacuum bullet. The bullet will go much more fast way towards Zabuza. Zabuza will dodge, but his hand will be still on the what you call water prison. Then it was only a distraction. Then Naruto threw kunai towards Zabuza. Zabuza will easily dodge. Naruto will appear behind Zabuza using the flying thunder god. That made Kakashi widen his eyes, knowing what it was. Because Kakashi saw the kunai. His Sharingan was still out, and it was a three-pronged kunai, but it was double-sided. Then Naruto will move back and say Rasengan. Naruto will Rasengan Zabuza in the back, in the spine. Zabu is sent flying. Kakashi is so shocked. And then, as soon as Zabuza gets up, three Simban will come and hit Zabuza in the neck, knocking him out. Then Haku would appear and take Zabuza away by saying the same thing. Before Kakashi can fall, Naruto holds him and say, you overused your Sharingan." Kakashi would put his headband down, and Naruto would say, "Nah, not that much." Sasuke already know about the Sharingan because Kakashi used it while the bell test. After that day, Kakashi told Sasuke how he got the Sharingan, that his friend was an Uchiha, he died. So Sasuke has come to town with it. And so Sasuke is kind of cursing himself for not reacting as fast as Naruto can. And then they will go to the Tazuna's home. They will see Tazuna's daughter. She will invite them in. Their grandson. When the grandson comes and says all that, Naruto would say, "I'm alone, all alone." His family got killed in front of him. He would point at Sasuke. He doesn't have a family, and here we are. You're just saying that because that's an excuse you made for yourself. Stop excusing yourself and own up to that shit. And the kid will just cry and leave. Before Sakura can say anything, Naruto just looks at Sakura and says, "If you say anything, I will rip your throat out with my teeth." And everyone is shocked at that statement of Naruto's. Sakura just shuts up. And Naruto goes inside, and after eating dinner, they sleep. The next morning, Naruto says, "I'm going to train." Kakashi would know Naruto body figure to go into deep in the forest, create 200 shadow clones, and try adding chakra nature into the Rasengan. And so for an entire week, still takes us a week to recover because he got hit with the Rasengan in the spine. So yeah, it's gonna take that time to recover. And so that happens. Naruto has been training for a week how to put chakra nature into the Rasengan. He's learned how to create a wind style Rasengan similar to what Konohamaru does in the Baruto, where he makes a Rasengan with a little bit of wind chakra and uh, launches it at the opponent's right side. It destroys everything behind him. Yeah, Naruto learned that one, and he's mastered that one, of course. He can't use the that one with his bigger Rasengan, but he can do with smaller Rasengan easily because he has 200 times more faster experience thanks to his 200 clones. He has more chakra, and he's much better chakra control. And he's been practicing for an entire week. So yeah, that happens. Naruto was so tired for training for an entire week non-stop. He did came to eat and then he left to train again. In middle, he waited for 5 to 10 hours. He took a 1 day of break. No, just 10 hours of break so he can replenish his chakra. That he almost lost 70% of his chakra trying that out. because he was constantly forming Rasengans and throwing them. While he's resting, Haku would come up and they have their own talk. But Naruto would already know that he's a guy. He can sense naturally that a guy, if a person is a guy or a girl, with their chakra signature. And so that happens. Naruto will continue his training. After that, the next day, Naruto would sleep for a little longer. Naruto would hear screams. Naruto would open his eyes, his body flicker to appear behind those people and kill them with his sword, decapitating them. When Naruto would say, "Where are the others?" Tozunui would say, "They are on the bridge." Naruto would use his body flicker to appear on the bridge. Sasuke just got put into the demonized mirror. Sasuke has already unlocked his Sharingan, so when Naruto goes in to save Sasuke, Sasuke has two Tome Sharingan. And so that happens because Sasuke asked Kakashi that how to use the Sharingan. When Sasuke tried, he already had the Sharingan. Then Kakashi would say, probably because when the clan massacre happened, you woke on your Sharingan, but you didn't know how to use it. Sasuke would not, and so that's why he has two Tomoe Sharingans while fighting Haku. Naruto comes. That's like, we can't break this thing. Naruto would like use your most strongest fireball. Sasuke would do. Naruto would create a with some hands and says wind cannon. He will create a huge wind bullet. He calls it wind cannon. It hits the fireball, makes it more powerful, destroys two one mirror and damages two mirror. Haku just regenerates them. Naruto says, "Huh? So you can regenerate them? Well then." Naruto would put his hand together and say, "Wood style, wooden dome jutsu." Naruto would create a wooden dome around him and Sasuke. Then Naruto would start weaving some hand silences. Let's just say if I can do it. And then Naruto will open his eyes and then releases the wooden dome. Naruto just activated his the lightning armor, but only the interior one. He uses hand sign because that makes it much more easier for him to use it. So now his perception is much more higher. And when Naruto sees Haku move clearly. As soon as Haku goes to a mirror, inside the mirror, Naruto uses body flicker to appear in front of the mirror. He uses wind style Rasengan, hits the mirror and destroys it instantaneously, and Haku gets flown back. And it damages Haku as well a lot. Haku stands up. Kakashi and Zabuza look back to see the destruction that Naruto caused. Sasuke shook like, what kind of jutsu is that? I've never seen something like it. I can't even copy it. That's what Sasuke is thinking because he doesn't know about the Eye of the Insight yet. And so before Naruto can kill Haku, they will hear 1,000 chirpings. That was the Chidori, and Kakashi was about to kill Haku, but Haku got in the way and got stabbed. Naruto knew it was Haku, but he knew he had to fight on. When he sees that, then he comes behind Zabuza and says, "You truly think of him as a tool? Then why are you crying?" He's like, "I'm not crying." As soon as Zabuza says that, he sheds a single tear, and Naruto creates a wind strike Rasengan and hits Zabuza in the back, creating a gaping hole into Zabuza's chest. And Kakashi shook, look, what is that? Naruto says, "Oh, I completed the jutsu Dad created." Because Kakashi already know that Naruto knows that his father is Minato Namikaze. Hokage told Kakashi about it. Kakashi would, so you edit nature? Naruto would not. Then Gato would come and says, I'll take care of it. Naruto puts his right hand up forward and chakra chains comes out. It's created a complete barrier around Zabuza's and all of his people. Naruto weaves one-handed hand sign and says, poison mist. No, not poison mist. He will say, Sasuke, Kakashi, use fireballs. Sasuke and Kakashi would not. Both of them use fireball. Naruto would wave one-handed webs and say, wind bullets. Out of wind cannons. Naruto would shoot two wind cannons at the two fireballs, making them more bigger. As soon as that happened, both of the fireballs started to merge together at the same time. Naruto waved some more hand senses wind cannon, and he will shoot a huge high-speed cannon that will hit the two fireballs that just got enhanced by a small wind cannons and got now was combined and got enhanced by a big uh, air cannon. The huge fire will consume all the people, all the gang members that would be there. While that was happening, Naruto was making the barrier around what he created with the chakra chain smaller and smaller, making sure no one survives. And in the end, there was only Ash left, and Naruto barely survived because Naruto makes sure to make a miniature barrier around Gato because he wanted to kill him himself. Naruto walked towards Gato, put his feet on Gato's head. Gato was lying in the pain because the heat still hurted him, and Naruto said, Sayonara. Naruto puts chakra into his face and crushes Gato's head, in return killing Gato. And so Sakura is shocked like how brutal Naruto was. She thinks maybe he's a monster, but he kind of saved Sasuke, so she's thinking of that. Then the villagers came. There's a so Naruto kill Gato. The bridge still gets the name Great Naruto Bridge. Naruto goes back, all of them goes back. After a week, while Naruto was training himself on mastering the lightning armor, he can finally use lightning armor without any hand signs quite easily now. And he can also use the outer shell of the lightning armor as well, not just inner one. So Naruto would, for after a week, Kakashi will call them. Naruto would send a clone towards them. Kakashi will tell them about the Chunin exam. Naruto would nod and poof. Kakashi would think, huh, so he already knows about the Shadow Clone. So looks like he already mastered the multi Shadow Clone Jutsu. He truly is a genius. And then Sasuke start doing more training with Kakashi. He asked Kakashi to train him. Sakura was just watching them. And while Naruto took his training up a notch, now he created 500 clones. Because he also wanted to keep as much chakra as much he can, so he only created 200, but now he created 500 clones on working on the lightning armor. For the next week, Naruto has mastered the lightning armor. He hasn't tried adding any other chakra nature towards the Rasengan yet, as I said. And so Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura will meet at the place where they're supposed to submit for the Chunin exam. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would submit theirs. They will walk in. This time, Rock Lee comes and said, I want to challenge you, Sasuke Uchiha. Then I want to challenge you also as well, Naruto's monkey. Naruto would just nod. Sasuke would challenge him and lose. It will be a little bit better fight, but he will still lose. And then Lee says, so now I shall challenge you, Naruto Uzumaki. Lee runs towards Naruto and punches him. Naruto just dodges it. Then Naruto kicks Lee in his left leg, makes him kneel and knees Lee in the nose. Lee gets flying, then Naruto punches Lee, doesn't enhance his fist with chakra. Lee gets flying. Lee says, you're quite strong. Naruto says, oh, I'm holding back. I'm not using chakra to increase my punches because you can't use your chakra. I can sense it, so I'll only use my physical capabilities. Rocky would be like, thank you. You have the flames of youth. And Naruto would use his high speeds to run behind Rock Lee. Rock Lee will only see a blur and kick Rock Lee in the face, sending Rock Lee flying. Before Rock Lee can release his weight, Guy would come and hit Rock Lee. And then Rock Lee would ask, "So, will you be my eternal rival?" Naruto said, "Fine, whatever. Consider it a one-sided rivalry." Uh, Lee would be like, "Don't worry, I will make sure to make a two-sided rivalry soon enough." Guy would be like, "Yeah, that's the flames of youth." Sasuke has more anger towards Naruto because Naruto was able to beat someone who he could not, because now Sasuke has a Sharingan as well. But Sasuke, maybe if I mastered the Sharingan with 3 term, it will be much more easier. It's still a little delusional, just a little. Sakura runs up to Sasuke and says, "Sasuke, are you alright?" Then she yells at Naruto, "You couldn't you save Sasuke early?" Naruto comes and backhands Sakura so hard. It's kind of wave towards, and everyone start looking at her. Lee still does the same thing to Sakura, but Lee's like, "Why did you hit her?" No says, "Shut up, Lee. Sakura, if you really wanted to save him, why didn't you do anything?" "Let me tell you why, because you're a useless piece of trash." And Naruto would walk away, Sasuke would walk away, Sakura would just walk with her head down. Some Tenten think, "Damn, he's cold." And then Kakashi comes. Guy says, "Isn't Naruto cold a little?" Kakashi like, "Yeah, he kind of despises Sakura because she's weak and she doesn't does anything to change the fact that she is weak. So yeah, in his eyes, she's kind of trash." And so that happens. Then they will go to their written exam. Naruto breaks Minato's record by 3 seconds. Just 3 seconds. And the what do you call it? Interrogation guy. What was his name again? I completely forgot. The one who has scars on his face. He's shocked because he broke Minato's record by 3 seconds, but still he broke it. That's saying something. And so Naruto goes out, sits outside while waiting for his team. His team comes. Anko does the same thing by the forest of death. Anko throws kunai, and Naruto catches the kunai easily and then throws it back towards Anko. It cuts Anko's cheek. Naruto comes besides Anko and licks her blood and says, "Aren't you?" Anko is shocked, like, "What?" And Naruto is like, "How do you like to feel getting a taste of your own medicine?" Anko just smirks at Naruto. Sakura is kind of thinking, is he interested in an older woman or something? Sasuke is thinking the same thing, and several of the Genin are also thinking the same thing. After that, Naruto come back to the team. They get the same Earth Scroll, yeah, Scroll, and then we start the Forest of Death arc. Naruto and the team run towards the fort. Naruto can sense people. Naruto senses someone and says, "We're going that side." They go there. There's a further team. Naruto says, "Sasuke, go beat the shit out of them." Sasuke smirks and goes and beat the shit out of them. Naruto takes his scroll. Their luck, it is a heaven scroll. Naruto takes both of the scroll and stores them on his belt. So like, what did you do to the scrolls? Sakura screeched. Naruto slapped Sakura and says, "You are book smart, right? You don't even know about the storage seals." So I was like, "Oh, you mean the storage seals? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know about them." Then they would start leaving, and then Naruto would feel something coming, and it was a snake. The snake devours Naruto, and here I'm gonna leave this video until tomorrow. And so, like and subscribe.